Hi, today I'm gonna show you how to make the Ube Lanka scrolls or rolls. So grab your pen and paper handy because every exact measurement and exact procedure is very important in achieving a very soft and yummy Ube Lanka scrolls, okay? So first, we're going to start with activating our yeast mixture. Our first ingredient is, in a bowl, put 2 cups of warm, fresh milk. And then half cup of white sugar. Okay, this time I'm gonna grab a candy thermometer to test the temperature of our warm milk. So it must not exceed 45 degrees Celsius because if the milk is so hot, the yeast will die. So if it's too hot, just allow it to cool slightly. Okay, if the temperature doesn't exceed 45 degrees Celsius, it's now time to put in your 2.5 teaspoons of dry yeast. And then mix it a little bit just to blend the milk, the sugar, and the dry yeast. And then just leave it aside between 6 to 8 minutes until bubbly or frothy. So now let's grab a separate mixing bowl and add in your 5 cups of plain flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1.5 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 cup of boiled, mashed, and sieved potato. The role of this potato is to make your bread soft and fluffy even if the bread is left there for a few days. Okay, next we have your yeast mixture. So check if it's already bubbly or frothy, and then you can now add it into your flour mixture. Then using a spiral dough hook, it's now time to turn on your mixer to a low speed, which is number 2, for 2 minutes. This will help blend all the ingredients and build the protein in the dough. Okay, so after 7 minutes, turn off your mixer and it's time to perform the gluten test or the window test. So this will determine if the dough is now ready. So in this gluten test or window test, I usually get a small portion of the dough and stretch it as thin as possible in the middle. And if it doesn't break, that means your dough is ready. If it still breaks, then mix it again for another minute or two. Okay, but this time our dough is now ready. And then leave it in a warm place or warm room between 35 to 45 minutes or until it has doubled in size. So this is the first proofing stage for your fermentation. And we have to make sure that the temperature is about 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, if the weather is too cold, the dough will not rise within an hour. So cover it with a clean cloth and leave it in a warm place. That's very important for your fermentation stage. And because it's winter here in Australia at the moment, I have to switch the heater on to 30 degrees Celsius. So there is a special room here, which is a vacant room, and I have to turn that as my proofing room. Okay, it's now time to prepare our ube halaya and langka filling. For the ube halaya recipe, you can use my recipe that I posted in my YouTube channel, and always cook your ube halaya the day before to avoid a very hot filling. Next, I will be using 1 can of the preserved jackfruit or langka. And you can buy this from any Asian store or any Filipino store. And in my case, because I'm just very adjacent to Pinoy Tayo Filipino store in Craigieburn, I usually grab all the Filipino products from there. So first we have to discard the syrup, then mince the langka using a small food processor. But if you don't have a small food processor, you can mince it by using a knife. So just chop it with the knife. Okay, so it's now 45 minutes. It's now time to check the dough if it has already doubled in size. Okay, it's time to grease or oil the surface of your kitchen bench top so that the dough will not stick on the bench top. Okay, you can also use flour to dust the surface, but for myself, I prefer oil. Okay, after you have flattened the dough into a rectangular shape, spread a very thin layer of ube halaya. So make sure that the halaya is cold or room temperature so that it won't kill the yeast in the dough. And then it's time to spread the minced langka on top of the halaya. Then roll the dough into a log shape. And then pinch the edges to seal the dough. Then I will be using a dental floss. Yes, it's a clean one or thin string to cut the dough into a uniform and clean scrolls. Okay, so you can also use knife or any kitchen cutter, but I will be using this because it's cleaner. See how clean it is? And place all the scrolls in a baking dish and make sure that you line it with a baking paper. And also, it is very important to put space in between and leave them again in a warm room for 35 to 40 minutes until doubled in size. And after 30 minutes, then it's now time to preheat the oven to 170 degrees Celsius if it's a fan forced oven. And it's now time to bake the Ube Lanka scrolls between 18 to 23 minutes or until it turns golden brown. When my scrolls are cooked, I usually brush the top with melted butter. That's pretty much it. I just keep it simple as is. Okay, there's no need to drizzle it with any cream cheese frosting or any icing. So just a simple Ube Lanka scrolls like this one is fine. So masarap talaga siya kahit ganito lang. So it is best for breakfast, merienda, with your favorite cup of tea or coffee.
Just water.
So eto na. I'm going to try one for myself. There you go. Looks yummy. And I'm telling you now, it's truly soft, delectable, and truly bursting with ube and langka flavors. Pinoy na Pinoy talaga ang dating. And thank you for watching. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel and don't forget to share my recipes.